5, Station 259, what is address of the fire?
Yeah, dispatcher.
Yes?
This is off-duty firefighter Jermaine. I guess you got this already. But you got a plane crash into the World Trade Center. You aware of that?
You have a plane that crashed into the World Trade Center in Manhattan?
World Trade Center in Manhattan.
Where are you calling from?
I'm on Varus Street in Manhattan.
Barrack Street in Manhattan.
It's the North Tower, World Trade Center.
North Tower?
North Tower. You got...
And the phone number you're calling from?
I'm on a cell phone. I'm an off-duty firefighter. My name is Jermaine.
Okay.
It's the North Tower, Beachy Street. You got...
Beachy Street side. Okay, thanks a lot.
Send them all because you got major fire on the upper floors of the World Trade Center.
I was in bed actually. Didn't have to be at work until 8 o'clock. I worked at my parents' church. And I remember my dad busting into my room saying, "Sean, wake up, we've just been attacked, we've just been attacked." I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I was like, somebody just bombed the Pentagon, somebody just bombed New York. I'm like, what's going on? And I turn on the news and see it, see the towers smoking and then falling. I was senior in high school at the time. And I remember hanging out with my friends, and just seeing, the helicopters flying or whatnot. We were close to Camp Pendleton there, and we had the March Air Force Base a little north of me. And I just felt, I was pissed off like everybody else. I was angry. How dare they, come attack whoever it was. And, I just felt, I had to go in. I had to do something. I guess you could say we all had the same emotion. We just got attacked. We're going to go to war and we're going to kick these guys' ass. Whoever it was, we're going to go to Afghanistan, we're going to get these guys. I joined in October of 2002. I joined for a lot of the same reasons guys did back, in 2002, 2003, or 2002, 2003, like 9/11 just happened. A lot of us felt it was our obligation. I came from a military family. I did basic training, OSIT training in Fort Benning, Georgia. Graduated in February and was assigned to 1st Battalion, 30th Infantry of 3rd Brigade, 3rd Infantry Division. Shortly after I graduated, I went from basic training, signed into my unit. 2 weeks later, I'm in Kuwait with I met up with my company. I was in Alpha Company, and I was with them for 2 weeks, I believe, about 2.5 weeks before we went to Iraq the first time, part of the invasion. My brother was killed in 2005. I'm driving home and I got my parents' house at nighttime. The sun had gone down. And I park in the driveway and I get out, undo my trunk, start getting my bags out, and my dad comes out, is like, "Sean, come inside." I'm like, "Okay, just a second." I get my bag, he's like, "No, come inside." And I knew, just saw him look on his face and the tears in his eyes, I knew immediately. And I broke down. Because how could it be him? My brother, he was the best Christians I ever knew, the best soldiers. He was supposed to be out of the Army by now. Both me and him were both stop lost because our time was up in 2005. And, he soldiered on, from what we can gather, they were my brother's unit, and he was with 369 Armor in their headquarters platoon. You know, it's the scout snipers, and they were coming back from a mission, and he was the gunner in the Humvee. There was 3 other guys, and they're on the way back, and they ran over a pressure plate IED, and it just blew them up. You know, and I knew there's gonna be nothing left. You know, my mom was heartbroken because she at least wanted to see his fingers, but they said he was wrapped like a mummy. There's nothing. You know, he was a chard, and it hurt. And I wouldn't have let my mom see it anyways, because I've been on those calls, you know, of IED blasts, and it didn't bother me back then. You know, I had lost friends. You know, guys I had known had been mortally wounded, killed, and it didn't bother me. It hurt losing friends, you know, losing my brothers, but not until it happened to my brother. You know, I was mad. I was mad. I wanted to go back. I wanted to kill them all. But I could not cope. You know, got bad into drugs, bad into alcohol. You know, I was drinking and going out, just mad at the world, mad at everybody. He didn't even have a chance to fight back. You know, I got blown up by an IED, the biggest cowardice weapon there is. You know, you're facing an enemy that doesn't even want to face you. You know, that was tough. You know, because you never know. You know, it's spur of the moment, boom, you're dead. You know, there's no chance to fire back for anybody. You know, at least, you know, if it was a sniper bullet or something, you know, the guys he was with, you know, they would find that enemy and they would take him out. You know, with an IED, you don't know where the guy's at. He's hiding behind a little cell phone, you know, or whatnot, or not even there, not even going to watch it. Just bury the thing and wait. You know, that was very frustrating, and especially tough seeing my grandfather. You know, he was infantry in Korea. You know, he was bayoneted. You know, and then he reclassed, became a combat medic in Vietnam. You know, the things he had seen, things he had done, and you know, it tore him up. My brother's death tore him up bad. He was my hero in my eyes. I always looked up to him. You know, he was the cool kid. He was the badass. He's more of a hero, I believe, now after his death than he was in his life, to be honest. You know, and it's not because he was a soldier. It's not because he was killed in combat. It's because of who he was as just Nathan. They're fighting for their brothers on their left and their right, just like all the other wars. You're fighting so that they can come home alive. You're willing to give your life for them to come home. You know, and that's the way it is, you know. Screw politics, screw all the other stuff. It's like, wow, if I could do it all over again, I would. I would. You know, I want to make sure, you know, I got as many guys home as I could. And I hope I made a difference in bringing guys home. You know, I like to hope I did. You know, whether directly or indirectly, I don't know. You know, when I was a kid, you know, I was always searching for something. You know, I never really, I hung out with everybody, you know, I didn't really have a set goal in life, set belief. And I was raised Christian my entire life, evangelical Christian. You know, especially after my brother died, you know, I backed away from God, faith. You know, I did. I was mad at him. You know, he stole my brother from me. You know, and that was my initial feelings. I guess you could say I've forgiven God. If that's possible. You know, I'm not mad at him anymore. But, you know, I've become a lot colder. You know, a lot, I don't want to say angry. You know, I've had my moments, you know, where I just blow up or I go and, you know, I still battle with drinking, you know, from time to time. I'll still splurge but I remember for what it used to mean to me. You know, it used to mean, you know, liberty, justice, freedom. You know, it's not to, you know, get all political, but this country's gone to shit, and I've seen my flag pissed on. You know, I mean, U.S. Canadian soldier, you know, we fight for that flag, for what it means, and you know, I guess it makes me more sad because I don't see the flag meaning what it used to anymore. You know, not what it did. And I remember having a conversation, actually. I was in a Tower Guard in 2005, in Tower Guard, and one of my buddies, one of my friends, were up there talking, and we were actually talking about the patriotism thing. And he had joined a year before me, so we were both right after 9/11, you know, and we remember vividly, and I still do. Right after 9/11, everybody was an armchair patriot. You know, everybody's waving the American flag, and God bless America, and yay, yay. And then within 2 years, you know, I mean, there used to be a flag, everybody had an American flag on their doorstep. Everybody had an American flag on their car. Everybody was proud to be an American. Why? Because we just got attacked and lost 3,000 lives. It's a great way to feel American. But everybody was patriotic, like all of a sudden, this bullshit patriotism. As if that's what patriotism is waving a flag. And, you know, within a couple short years, you know, the only time we would really see an American flag is if it's in front of a veteran's house, or somebody has a family member that's serving, or it's Flag Day, or Memorial Day, or Veterans Day, and it's like, you know, are those only days that feel patriotic, or, you know, 4th of July? You know, I'm sorry. I think being a patriot is supposed to be 366 days a year. Yes, I know there's 365, but it just goes to say, you know, patriotism does not die. You know, it's not the American flag is not just a holiday symbol. You know, I mean, all these soldiers, you know, from World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, you know, especially, you know, World War II. You know, I mean, that was, you know, if I could have had the balls like those guys, you know, I'm sorry, but, you know, those, in my view, those were soldiers, those were men, were those veterans, you know, because that was American might right there. You know, I mean, that was actually fighting an evil. You know, those guys were, those guys were soldiers. You know, not to belittle any other service, you know, or any other time, but unlike all the other wars, this is the first one where our soldiers' hands are tied. You know, I mean, I'm reading more and more in the paper of, you know, the government prosecuting soldiers for murder, war crimes. It's like, are you serious? You're really going to do that? You know, it's like, how can we trust? You know, if we can't trust our leadership, you know, if we're going to, we can't, I mean, their hands are tied. They can't shoot at anything, you know, unless fired upon. It's like, wait a second. And then if they do, you know, because they're so scared about the image, you know, it's like, well, either let us go, let the soldiers go and find the enemy and kill them all, or get us out of there. Bring us home. If you're not going to let us fight, you know, sadly, yes, civilians die. And half the time, they're not even civilians. You know, the enemy picks up those guns and leaves, and crap, now we got 10 people that were just shooting at us, but now they look like 10 civilians. You know, I've seen children pick up guns and shoot. Guess what? They're dead. Women pick up a gun and shoot. They're dead. You know, and it's gotten so bad. You know, it makes my heart hurt, you know, because it's, you know, it gives me some respect. You know, it gives me quite a bit of respect, actually, for the guys who are still in now and still believing that they are doing something good. You know, because even though their hands are tied, and it's like, wow, how do you do it? People die, you know, some in their sleep, you know, others like my brother, you know, I mean, and it's how are you going to deal with it? You know, I mean, I struggled for a long time, you know, with anger and depression, you know, and I'm done, you know, and I think that's one thing that helps me get through life now is I'm done asking the question why on pretty much everything. I'm done asking why. It's like, I'm never going to know the answer. Okay, it is what it is, and what am I going to do with it? You know, how am I going to, you know, how am I going to take this and soldier on? You know, I mean, when you're when you're deployed, you know, a guy, your best friend could die, and you can't sit there and dwell on it. You know, almost with every death, you know, there's always an after-action report. And it's and those action after reports are always for learning on how we can make ourselves safer, what went wrong, what happened, how can we correct it. And I believe we can do that with everything. You know, with every little trial that enters our lives, is take it and be like, okay, what can I do with this? May not be completely positive, but what can I do with this? You know, what's the best way?